Earlier this week, the UK and EU finally managed to agree a new Brexit deal. For a moment it looked like Brexit might be going smoothly. That was until the Democratic Unionist Party confirmed that they wouldn't be supporting the new deal. Suddenly the deal was thrown back up in the air, and people began to speculate if the deal could possibly survive. And today is the day that we find out. Before we discuss what's going to happen, the first 10 people who use the code BREXITDEAL will get 10% off in our Teespring store. There's a link to that in the description below. For a Brexit deal to be ratified, it needs to be approved by 4 groups: the UK and EU negotiators and the UK and EU parliaments. The deal has already been agreed by negotiators, so now it needs to head to the parliaments. Given how negotiations have been going in recent months, even this is pretty surprising, but it's worth remembering that we have been here before. That's because about a year ago, then Prime Minister Theresa May struck a deal with the EU. However, it was subsequently rejected by the UK's Parliament on 3 separate occasions. If Johnson wants to get a Brexit deal passed by the 31st of October, he's going to need to make sure that Parliament sign it off today. To get parliamentary approval, the deal needs a simple majority. That's simply more yes votes than no votes. That doesn't sound too challenging, right? Well, things are made a little harder by the current parliamentary makeup. Historically, the vast majority of UK governments have had a majority of MPs in the House of Commons. However, Johnson doesn't have this luxury. His government does not have a majority. That means he needs to convince people from other parties to join him in order to get anything passed through the Commons. So, there are 650 MPs in the House of Commons, but the 7 Sinn Féin MPs don't vote, and neither does the Speaker or any of his deputies. So once you've taken those people out, Johnson needs 320 votes in order to pass the deal. Let's start with his own party. The Conservatives have 287 voting MPs, so let's be really optimistic and say that he can get all of them to support his deal. Even then, he needs 33 more MPs on his side. The issue is that all of the opposition parties officially reject his deal. Some MPs might rebel against their own party in order to support Johnson, but officially all of the parties reject him. Johnson will be wasting his time trying to get the Liberal Democrats, SNPs, Independent Group for Change, Plaid, or Green MPs to support his deal. All of these parties are staunchly against his deal, and many of them are against Brexit altogether. The official opposition party, Labour, have 242 voting MPs, and their leader, Jeremy Corbyn, is very clear that they should vote against the deal. That being said, it's possible that some MPs will rebel and vote for Johnson's deal. Currently it's looking like this number will be between 5 and 10 Labour MPs, so let's be optimistic and stick with the 10 MPs that John Mann theorised yesterday. The Democratic Unionist Party are the Conservatives' partners in government, but they're very unhappy with the deal, and their official stance is to reject the deal. Given that they reject components of the deal itself and the deal has been locked down, it's really unlikely they're going to change their mind on this. The last major grouping that Johnson can target are the 36 independent MPs. This is an interesting grouping, as 23 of them are former Conservatives who were kicked out of the party for rebelling against the government in previous votes. Despite being independent, many of them are still aligned with the small c conservative ideology, so many of them will be likely to back the deal. If we theorise that all 23 former Conservatives will back the deal, then the government will get the majority they need, but only by 1 vote. Johnson could win by a larger margin if he manages to persuade Labour MPs to join him. After all, some newspapers have theorised that up to 50 Labour MPs could be persuaded, but that seems very much on the high side, as does Caroline Flint's 19 MP prediction. Regardless, let's say that using the original combination of votes he can get a majority. All of the Conservative MPs, all of the former Conservative MPs, and at least 10 Labour MPs. The problem is that even this is very unlikely, and that's because there's a decent number of Conservatives who may rebel against the government, not least the ERG. The European Research Group is made up of 80 Eurosceptic Conservatives, and the group wasn't in favour of May's deal earlier in the year. However, on May's third and final attempt to get the deal passed, 52 of them caved and voted for her deal to try and get Brexit done. That leaves 28 ERG members who never voted for May's deal, a group that have nicknamed themselves the SPARTANS. This group are rather fond of Johnson, with many of them supporting his leadership campaign. In return, he appointed some of their members to his government. However, that doesn't mean he'll get all of them to support his deal, with only 10 of 28 confirmed as definitely supporting the deal. This group has historically said that they'll only support the deal if the DUP also back it. So without the Northern Irish Party's support, Johnson can expect at least some of the Spartan group to rebel against his deal. And this is Johnson's problem. With such a slim majority, it doesn't take many MPs to vote against him, be they rebelling Conservatives or Labour MPs who are more loyal than he expected. Either way, that would still leave his deal going down the drain. The debate begins in the House of Commons almost immediately after this video is published, and soon we'll know the result of the vote. We will of course keep you updated as this plays out, so subscribe to the channel for more news. You can also hit the bell icon if you want to be notified every time we release a video. And if you want more from us, you can find TLDR across all social networks simply by searching for TLDR News. And if you want your name featured at the end of the videos, just like these people, then you can sign up to back us on Patreon. There's a link to that in the description.